Welcome to part 2 of our Rural Energy Climathon here in the Forest of Dean. So what we thought we'd do is we'd just start with a little bit more context here at the offices, and then what we'll do is we'll walk over to the library. As you do that, say hi to someone that you've perhaps not met before today, because what we're going to try and do is work together to develop some local ideas for rural energy transition. And it's going to be a creative and supportive and fun process.
We've got a broad range of people here, so local politicians, local council officers like myself, other organisations that have got a stake in the energy and climate issues. So we've got housing associations, organisations that represent businesses locally. It's a big mix. Some of the solutions range from how do we generate the energy we need, how do we store the energy we need, what can we look at in terms of heat, because heat's one of the biggest issues in terms of decarbonising and getting to net zero, so we're trying to work on micro-network solutions and microgrid solutions that would work on a smaller scale.
You talk about 3 things: energy, transport, food. This Climathon is focusing on energy. So we're looking at how all of these different energy facilities can be integrated into our communities.
Forest Dean District Council declared a climate emergency in 2018, very early on, and it was both to have a carbon neutral council by 2030 and to try doing the same for the district. For the council, that's largely in our control, although it's very challenging. That means decarbonising our buildings and our vehicles, but for the district, there's no way we can achieve it on our own. We can influence it through planning, but we absolutely need partners to be able to achieve that. And that's very much, again, what this event is about, trying to bring those partners together to solve these problems.
We are planning what the electricity network is going to look like in the future, and we can take all the national data that's out there, we can put that through our systems and we can guess what people need, but by coming out into local communities and working with local authorities, we take that information back and feed it into our data, and what we do is get a far more accurate picture of what electricity is going to be needed into the future, and so that's how we are helping local areas decarbonise.
We started out at the webinar where we had 40 or 50 ideas that we had initially harvested together. Then this morning we narrowed that down to about 12 ideas, and now we've prioritised 6 key project ideas that we're going to be working on together and pitching to one another later on. So we've got a team working on retrofit for both private and social housing. We've got another team that are working on issues around storage capacity for electricity. And we've got another team on community energy and how to scale and make that a viable approach, and also looking at local, what we call heat networks, and how we can develop those.
I think companies that aren't currently involved with groups like this do need to be thinking about it, because 2050 is the target for net zero, and that's coming closer and closer all the time. So time is essentially running out, and there's support and there's help out there, and by creating these kind of networks that we're creating today, you can start to move the work forward quite rapidly rather than leaving it all to the last minute and leaving yourself a mountain to climb.